everyone. Situating this a little bit better so I'm straight. Love and light to you all. So I titled this The Divine Plan Simplified. I'll touch on some things of the divine plan, but I will not get into depth with it and make it very complex. First off, I like to say uh, to all of you that may be seeing me for the first time or do not know who I actually am, I will reiterate that I am connected directly to Prime Creator, Source, what have you, and I am an overseer of this ascension, what is happening on a planetary scale. Uh, so, having said that, from time to time, what I purvey and what I share is futuristic messages and guidance, as well as explaining current happenings. So, this I do. I work on many levels. I am not restricted to, let's say, one reality, one timeline, or one state of being. And let us also say with this, for all of us that know, that it is to look at what is occurring with those not awakened, with the masses where there's fear and panic. That is a movie that is playing out, but it's an important transitional period for those to awaken. And this is divinely decreed to be so, to lift them up into what we call the ascending timelines. And the ascension, the planetary ascension, is all about um, the soul's experience going into more of a place of freedom and free will. And it also has to do with what the darkness had done, let's say in linear time, eons ago, with this area of dimension, time, and space. So, for the most part, there is a huge planetary team here, of which all of you that are watching are part of this, and we are omnipotent. We are above any human aspects of, let's say, human states of being. For the most part, most of you that are watching this have been you have reached certain levels of your divine, magical, and very powerful abilities, divine abilities as co creators. So, just going backward a little bit to anyone that is new, what I am to share is that we are all here. There are many of us that are divinely endowed with special abilities, ingenious consciousness, and what have you. And we are all part of the way showers to take humanity forward. However, what first must occur with the divine plan must be the revealing of all of the darkness and the underlying intent, which is now happening. And also to divinely assure that this ascension goes forward in a timely manner. Things like this corona is just a divine mechanism to do that, to restrict ones as well to the very crushing point where they have no choice but to stand up, but where they also see how ludicrous it is that the ones that were in control, the measures they were, let's say, imposing upon them. So everything is a huge divine plan with this, and having said this, everything works out perfect and beyond expectation for many of you, and for all of you. It on the other side of this corona and this divine plan, you are in the world that you had always wanted, and this is what we're doing. So yeah, there is a divine plan in place, and regardless of how bad it looks out there, It has to be done this way to wake everyone up to the degree that they will stand in their power and not be controlled by darkness or governments and what have you. So nothing stops this, what is occurring. We are omnipotent. Uh, Again, I will say that I am an overseer of this ascension. Uh, I am a massive creator, along with other co creators here. And what we put in place, it is divinely assured. Nothing like governments or you're censoring like from the social medias, and none of that stops us nor hinders us. In actuality, we utilize these for awakening others, so they're very good tools as well. So when some of you become censored, I mean, it just creates more evidence and documentation to show the public, when you're speaking a humanitarian truth and it becomes suppressed, it shows you that there's nefarious intent behind it. And ones don't need to know everything about divinity to recognize, how blatant it is. And in the beginning, to see that, yeah, something is wrong, something was wrong with society. So divinely, it is assured, that even, let's say, the least informed one that is ascending, that, they cannot refute nor deny what is put in their face and laid on the plate in front of them. And this is occurring. And, as many of you are seeing with censoring and all of this, it's not working because we are the light and we are omnipotent and nothing stops this whatsoever. So there's a huge plan in place, and jumping ahead, we are going to what you would call perhaps a universal monetary supply for a sort of a financial system, but it's a financial system that it's open ended. It's not anchored and hinged on part of the old paradigm like debt, taxes, owing someone. Where we're going and where we are now, it's a simplified financial system which will be coming into place. And what this, quickly does, where money, the control of money, created a lot of problems upon the surface for humanity, but also that control of money by dark ones allowed them to suppress humanity to what we would say states of violation of universal and divine law. And again, in 2012, linear time, it was no longer allowed to play out. And divinity, you can say, source, creator, which I refer to as Father, put his foot down and said no more. And although it is mother and father, and that has that is what it is now, and which is great, mother and father, and the divine feminine is raised up to that extent as well. And it's I don't wish to get into the complexity of how the divine dynamics work with this. However, everything that you are being given, you can also say with the duration of this ascending timeline that began 2012, all of you have been in, let's say, a divine boot camp, training and learning how to work with energies, how to create with them, because you are the ones that would be having more of an influence for these times over organizing events in divine ways, which has a precedent and a priority above anything in the past. So with that comes great discipline, and it's why many of you during the divine boot camp, were learned and taught and tutored in the ways to let go of being controlled by any fear, which is the lower density acts and emotions, but it's also lower dimensional. that's important. That's why it had to go. If you are a carrier, let's say of low density, it dictates the reality where you're in, simply. So these things must go, so you rise and go forward to uh, take the rest in the planetary ascension. So the divine plan is in place, and what we're looking at, what I've been given divinely, is I'd like to put it this way: on September 22nd will be the crown chakra opening of Gaia beyond anything ever imaginable before. This is global. And as you're seeing now, what's leading up to this great awakening, but then also the integration of the higher consciousness. Some refer to it as the Christ, but we can just keep it the higher consciousness. So at that time, what is occurring is the crown chakra and so many are going to be activated, and so many more. And it's important to have that as co-creators activated. But not only that, it's the overall planetary consciousness, which is being affected currently, and it's expediting every day up until the 22nd. And on the 22nd, there is a huge energetic upgrade in regards and respect to consciousness on a planetary scale. And what does that, what we're leading up to, these extreme corona measures being imposed upon the unawakened ones, what it is doing is it puts them to a state where they take no more and they take back their own thoughts. And it's at that time what coincides leading up to September 22nd that boom, there is an upward shift, and you will see that the corona measures and all of the governments that were imposing these at that time, you will see a significant upward shift. Um, I'm not given fully if that means that at that time all planetary corona measures and restrictions come off and that it is fully revealed for what it is. However, by December, it is fully revealed for what had occurred and what it is with this corona. And in December, what occurs in Australia at Uluru is the solar plexus um, is activated to the highest degree, the seat of power. So, what occurs on Gaia occurs individually within anyone existing upon Gaia. You are all part of this energetic thread. And heaven said that you are marginally affected to the degrees that the frequency and vibration rises and dictates. And I can assure you this again: September 22nd is the crown chakra opening of Gaia, and this occurs in the Himalayas. That spot has been divinely decreed and chosen for millennia, at least in linear time. And then again on December 22nd, it's where ones are able, they are risen into their power, where they do not give their consent away to anything that is less divine. And it's with that seat of power that comes to the individuals prior and leading up to December 22nd, where they are able to be the new leaders. And this is what's occurring. So you're seeing the takedown energetically in the implosion of the governments, and this is what it leads up to. And on the other side of December 22nd is a much more beautiful, compassionate, um, equal for all, free world. And nothing stops what's occurring. This is the divine plan. It is omnipotent. It doesn't matter if all the governments and what they have left of their military got together to try to prevent this. It doesn't work. We are divine. We are divinity. We are omnipotent, so nothing stops this. We are the creators of the reality, and with that comes great responsibility and discipline upon all of the creators and co-creators to assure that nothing does get out of hand. So there are, a few measures that are occurring where you're seeing with fires and maybe let's just say a few explosions, but any what you would call casualties within these, that they may be ones that are ascending, so they are granted the ascension with just going to check here. How am I doing? Just going to scroll down. I see Brenda McCarthy. Can anyone say, is this rolling good? I believe so. Hope so, but I got to check. Okay, thanks, Carolyn. Yeah. So again, this is to reiterate what many of you already know that um, we are existing in multiple timelines, but again, our job is to assist those that are awakening by purveying the knowledge to them as they awaken and assisting them in whatever means we can. And, one of the best ways is just to say, hey, we're here. We know what's going on and we are ready. Like I just put out in on a comment on a YouTube I just put out on this timeline. So it's important for all of you to let others know that you know what's going on, that we are omnipotent, and that we are here, and that we have everything under light control, under divine control. So, as they rise up out of their fear, what they need is the direction, and they need that more than a hope. What they will have is a confirmed hope because they will see where they were at, they'll see what transpired, and they will see, let's say, the end of the rainbow, which we have created for them. So by giving them the confirmations and being here for the ones as they awaken as well and stand up, they have a direction, and that direction needs to be given, and that's a divine direction. So for whoever this may resonate with, you're on social media like I am, put that out and say, no, you know what's going on. We're here, and even though you may, let's say, laugh at what we're doing, there will come a time very shortly that you'll come for assistance, and when you do, you let them know that we are here. So it's important to have this vast understanding um, to be ready to assist them to raise them higher. And with the Q initiative and operative, what they say, where we go one, we go all. Well, with that, you can also apply that to this planetary ascension because essentially that is what is occurring. And you cannot go forward without taking all that are ascending, which is around 5.38 billion souls upon the surface. And with that, um, out of the rest of the population, there are a lot of them that are not souls or souls of light, and they cannot go because uh, essentially, for what they are within, some of them do not have souls, and let's say the ones that do are dark souls that already have their destiny written to stay behind on a timeline that goes on for roughly 63 years. And so they stay behind on that timeline while the bulk of humanity and the souls transition into uh, this new Gaia, new Genesis, if you will, a new rebirth of how everything was. So, and among this, as we're seeing, and it's important to purvey outward and your professionalism, your capabilities, even though it's from the old paradigm in the old world. It's important, and I am impressed to see this, where awakened lawyers, awakened doctors are coming forth as well, because they do play an important role in this now and going forward, and in establishing the higher consciousness truths. So it's, you're not boasting, you're sharing information if you say that you are a master of all trades, if you will. Because you know you are ingenious in every respect, and a lot of you at this point are above uh, the human consciousness logic, which takes you into a higher place of consciousness that you know, it's you are the leaders in that respect to do it, to keep it simple. So I don't wish to keep this long, and so again, with that, you know, everything is going according to divine plan. We're still in Egypt, and it's because of divine reasons that we are here yet, and Fem and I are we're ready to move on. We were, let's say, a couple months ago, but again, for divine reasons and protocol, we must follow that. And even though I have lots of divine information for the role I'm playing here, it's released into the consciousness incrementally and when it needs to be. And one reason is we don't wish to get too far ahead of ourselves. At at some times um, we're playing a role in a linear time, and for all that we are, time does not exist. So to be here for and many of you, we have let's say, changed our state of being to be here at this time to serve this important divine mission and role and to assure the divine plan gets done. So each one of you plays such an important part and role in this. So altogether, we are the huge team that is doing that, and information is released to us, the collective, incrementally when it's time. And this is also the divine plan. So it's how the divine plan is released to us, where you know your next guidance and your next steps and what you must do. So in that way, it's divinely assured, and each one of you has the details of the divine plan within you, and you follow it. That is your guidance, and this is what you follow, and you play that role and you play that part. So as you're transitioning uh, from being human to divinity, it's very important to follow your signs that you are also given. So you know you're not alone. You have the angelics, you have yourself, you have higher aspects of yourself. You also have future self, which is very important as a satellite to assist you taking you forward, and of course interdimensional and multi-dimensional conscious entities as well, which are all benevolent. By the way, you are connected to these, and in reality, for what we are, there is no malevolent entities. And I say that even though you have experienced them and know they exist at any moment, they do not exist as well. And they do not exist for us to the extent where they cannot interfere and intervene with the divine plan. So you can then say that they really do not exist, and their only existence is in the lower dimensions and the lower dimensional state. So in reality, no, they don't uh, exist. And you could look at that as a conundrum or whatever way you wish, but it is, again, the divine truth, and it is why this divine plan is imminent and nothing prevents it. Is because you are above any of that darkness, and just to give you a confirmation of that, you would not be where you're at today, neither would humanity, if the darkness, let's say, was still in control. And if there was no God and no light, most of all of you would be in handcuffs and, in some FEMA camps or what have you. But that is not the case, and it's because the light is in control, and there is a divine movie playing out to assure the planetary ascension and the liberation of all humanity. So your confirmations that it is so is all of the worldwide corruption with the politicians, the bankers, the main, what were the rulers and leaders of this world. It's all being revealed. And let's say if those bankers and past rulers had any power, you would not be seeing all of the proof and it would not be revealed to you. They would have kept it concealed. And this is the very important confirmation. The reason why they cannot keep it concealed is because the light is upon the surface, the ground crew, and it's within each one of you, all of us, that is bringing um, to light all that was nefarious and malevolent and all that actually was occurring upon the planet. So, uh, for the simple reason that you are seeing that and that it is out even for the unawakened public, is because the light is in control. And during this process, we are still in the process of revealing uh, to everyone and having it revealed and released into not only an energetic way, but in a written way. So it becomes a template, a springboard for uh, those awakening also to spring forward off. So where you're showing how it was an actual enslavement in the past and how everyone was suppressed. Well, by knowing this, they also do not want to go back to that. However, also at the same time, you need to show them the forward direction. You need to show them that it's real and that it is there. And what we do, we just keep putting the messages out. Many of you, uh, well, all of you in actuality, are prophets, and you know this. And do not ever hesitate to prophetize. That is important in substantiating and accrediting the divine one, what you are. So you receive a divine message from your guidance of a prophetic circumstance or event, put it out there. If you're, let's say, right in this moment, you're told that in 2 days' time there's going to be um, a 5.6 earthquake in San Francisco. Well, you go and put that out, and you say, "I divinely received this," and you know, uh, and hypothetically, if that occurs, instantly it accreditates you because you are a divine one and you are a way shower. And the others that are awakening up, they need you, and when you give these sort of confirmations for them, then it eradicates a lot of that doubt, which clouds the consciousness and allows them to awaken further. So that is very important, and it's again, never think that it's egotistical to do that. Because if you do, it robs you of your power and it keeps you silent, and it takes away your consent. So you speak with you know a good humility, a good ego, because your ego again is your divine identity, and if you suppress it and remain in the closet, well, you don't rise in your full divine authority, and join the ground crew that are creating the huge leaps and shifts forward in the timelines. So altogether we do this, and each one, does their part per their divine guidance. So it is important to do that, proclaim what and who you are and your abilities. If you're able to move a mountain, you say, hey, I can move a mountain, and say that, and say it with truth and authenticity and without doubt, because we are in these miraculous times where, yes, we do. We've moved so many mountains. If you come to look at what the digital warrior aspect, at purveying the information and getting it out there, look at the effects, what it has, and what it's doing. I mean, geez, you're moving more than mountains, you're moving reality and you're ascending the timelines. Own your divine authority and your power to the extents that you're divinely guided to, is what I strongly always put out there, because, again, it's so important. So, having said that, I said this would be short, and it is. And to close, yes, there is a divine plan that is ascertained, and it is in place to liberate humanity. Nothing stops it. You are in full transition. You need to keep doing what every one of you is doing. Uh, there is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and let's say we're getting close to the end of that rainbow as well. You can also say the rainbow bridge. For the most part, humanity, we have them, let's say, 3/4 of the way across it. If you would like to look at a gauge, and very quickly in these next several months, everything is transitioning at such a rapid rate. As for I and Fem, we are constantly busy, not only keeping up what is going on with the world, but we also have our divine relationship that is an important complement to reality as well, that we must work on in our own time. And we are constantly busy with divinity. Really, there is, if you go to look at what we're doing, there's we're always doing something divine, as all of you are as well. But just saying that, we get very busy, and I have been as well. And we knew this about the mission when we come here, as well as all of you. And it is ascertained, so we got to also act out these roles. We already did it, it's already written. However, again, we need to just act out the roles here in the physical to take it to full linear time fruition, and that's what we're doing. So, having said that, that's enough talking. Going out in the desert tonight, we are. Yeah, it's going to be beautiful. Nice, peaceful desert. Woo! So I love you all, and thank you so much, and thank you for being here upon the surface and part of this amazing ground crew. And it's been a pleasure watching so many of you uh, step into your divine power, and over the years. And it's always so gratifying to see that, and very impressive as well. So, kisses, winks. I love you all, and thank you, and have an amazing morning, day, or night, wherever you shall be.